What is up, everybody? I've got the 7250 in here. Just gonna clean it up and service it, but I found some issues, so we might as well do a video on it. So I got all the side panels off of it. There's a whole series on this tractor on my channel last winter, putting a new motor in it, completely repainting it. If you haven't seen them, but it got a brand new radiator, pretty much everything. I was just doing a normal inspection. See that coolant right there? I sure hope that's running down from that top hose leaking. Otherwise, I'm going to be super pissed if that brand new radiator has to get pulled out of here. So then I saw that she is pissing on the floor here, and I just pulled it in here last night. So I took this cover off. Hydraulic pumps. Got a bunch of dirt stuck to the lines. And here's the other leak. That hose going into that return hose. I have to investigate that. And then we'll give her a bath, clean the cab out, and change the engine oil, fuel filters. But probably start by pressurizing that radiator, and then we'll probably go from there as far as power washing all this oil off here and pull it outside and let it get hot. But stand by. All right, it's a 15 psi radiator cap. Got it pumped up to 15. We'll just move on to something else and see what happens. I cleaned all the antifreeze off that was down there on the bottom of the radiator, so we'll see. But I'm already seeing this looks like where the coolant level sensor is, looks like it's wet, so that very well may be just running down and across. We can only hope. Well, that's definitely our leak. It's leaking out around the threads. At least that's an easy fix. I'll pull that level sensor out and clean it up and pipe dope it up. But it's running down this side of the radiator to the bottom, and then it's running across. So that's good. I sprayed a bunch of degreaser on all of this. I'll let it sit there for a minute, wash that area out, and then I'll pull it outside and let it run and warm up, and then I can pull it back in here and hopefully see exactly where it's leaking, and it'll be warm to drop the engine oil. All right, it's been running outside for an hour. I took that coolant level sensor out and pipe sealed it and washed off the underneath the cab where the hydraulic leaks are, and I washed all the coolant off the radiator. She's good and warmed up now. Let's go out and see what we can find. It's freezing cold out. luckily that's all good. I went through and tightened up all the other hose clamps too. This leak looks like a can of worms. It's this fitting. O-ring's leaking, but that goes into a 90 that goes up here to another line, and then it goes in to this hydraulic filter base. Hopefully I can get that fitting out of there without having to undo everything going to this filter base. Definitely gonna have to get the hydraulic filter out of the way. Sucks there's only a couple $100 on this hydraulic filter and oil, but I'm not gonna obviously take it off and put it back on. And Napa just showed up like 5 minutes ago with the oil and fuel filters, but I do not have one of these on hand. Ugh. This hydraulic hose is just, it's leaking. We'll take that off and make a new one. But I think I'll grab a bucket and a socket, and we'll drain the engine oil out of it right now while the engine is warm. And then we'll start tearing into that leak. And on the magnet, that's good. I'll grab a grease gun and start greasing all the steering and the front pivot pin while this drains. I guarantee it'll probably spray all over the floor the minute I step away from it. There's Zerks inside the knuckle of the front hubs, but it's kind of a two-person job. I'll just wait till Mrs. G is around so I can drive it ahead and turn the wheel till the Zerks line up on the U-joints. Let this drain and change out this filter and move on. I am not an oil filter pre-filler person. To each their own, unless it's a first startup on a new engine. Anytime I ever try pre-filling them, I normally spill it all over everything. So there's still plenty of oil in all the right places. Keep it lubed when you first start it. Okay. Fill her up, put the plug in, fill her up with oil, and change the fuel filters. See how much of this I can dump on the ground. I like Mystic oil. I use a lot of their engine oil and hydraulic oil, but anytime I'm gonna use a 5-gallon bucket, I stab a hole in it on the other side of the pour part spout. Helps it vent. Know what I'm saying? Didn't spill a drop. I'm on a roll. I change the fuel filters with every oil change. It's just cheap insurance to me. I do the engine air filter with every oil change also, but I know it's all good this time because I replaced that in the last field this fall, so it doesn't even have 10 hours on it. I want to get this thing all good to go and cleaned up so I can hook it onto the planter to where it's ready to go through the planter this winter when I get time, but trying to get this and any of the main stuff out of the way right now because I'm going to be bringing the 2388 combine in that needs a major everything rebuild into here, and the big 8550 Alice is about to get her day, her time in the shop. I'm looking forward to doing the restoration on the 8550. Probably should have just pre-filled these filters. Oh, you moron. There you go. It helps if you turn the fuel back on. Be pumping until I fell over. There we go. Actually sounds like there's fuel going into them. Well, I got that hose off up under there. I would say that that's the problem. Pretty cracked up. It had this hose wrap on it, but it's completely full of dirt. I had to cut it off of it, and then I got a face full of dirt under there. It was great. So I'll make one of them up. Might as well change the transmission filter since I have to take this one off. But I just stabbed a hole in the bottom of it instead of taking a bath in that. So I'll get that filter down and see what we got to do to fix that fitting that's leaking, and I'll see if I have the right ends for making that hose. Otherwise, I'll have to go get one. Alright, once I got the filter out of the way, it was this fitting, 90-degree fitting, that was leaking here. Luckily, with the flat face, there was a long enough neck on it to unscrew this part and be able to turn it out of there. I was afraid it was going to hit this. That is connected into the filter base, and another line going up. Would have been a mess, but it's just this O-ring. It's hard as a rock and flattened out. So we'll go over to the O-ring assortment and find the right O-ring and see if I have the right fittings to make up that hydraulic hose. Alright, I got the O-rings put in and the hose put on there, so now it's time to give her a bath. I did have the right fittings to make the hydraulic hose up under there, and I went to the dealer and got new transmission and hydraulic filters. So I have had a lot of companies reach out and ask me to test products and all that, and none of them have intrigued me at all until Super Clean reached out to me and asked if I would try their product. I use like degreaser constantly. I use their competitor's brand. I've never tried Super Clean. So I said, yeah, you want to send me some? I'll try it. We're going to try it on this front hub. Had a wheel seal leak this fall and got it replaced, and it's been hosed out once, but that gear oil really, it's hard to get it off of there. So I'll just take some of this. I'll hose it down completely with this and let it sit for a little bit, and we'll take the power washer and see if it works. There's all kinds of grease and oil and whatnot on the back from all the hydraulic remotes and whatnot. Let that sit. I soaked all of this down that had the oil leak. Soaked the motor down. It's eating away at that stuff pretty good. So give it a couple more minutes and see how it does washing it off. Wow. I'm gonna say that works better than what I'm used to. Holy cow. Anybody that knows what gear oil, how hard it is to get it washed off, will appreciate that. I'm gonna work my way around here. I gotta be honest, they did not pay me a dime for this. I got a couple bottles of free Super Clean. I'm not sponsored or anything, but compared to what I normally use or that works way better. It just like ate that grease away to where the minute I hit it with the power washer, it just came right off. Normally I gotta sit there and wash on that stuff forever. It took, I haven't watched that one yet, but it took all of that gear oil slime right off of there. So Super Clean gets my thumbs up for whatever that's worth. Well, there you go. She's all cleaned up. No more leaks. Ready to get put in the shed for the winter. There'll be another video on this tractor. It just would have been way too long. I had some electrical issues and some steering column issues, but once I get those parts and finish that video up, there'll be one more on this. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good weekend.